So, Ted, you're it. Congresswoman Ellmers, since Congresswoman Black is leaving, can you talk about how we get the guys to
And we are, I will tell you, that definitely, at chairing the Republican Women's Policy Committee, that has been one of our main goals, is really working with our male colleagues. Tone matters. How we speak to people matters. One of the things that I will say, and what I've learned, especially when we're talking with young people, so thank you all for being here, is that we have a tendency to turn people off right away, depending on what's being said. Some of that has nothing to do with what we say, it's the perception, but perception becomes reality. And if someone knows that you're a Republican, if someone knows I'm a Republican, I many times don't even really talk about that. I just start having the conversation. And people, especially young women, you're a Republican? I had no idea. Why? Because of how we are, how we are painted, right? And so they're so surprised. Women, by and large, agree with us on all of the issues. If you go through each issue, they agree. It's how we are able to articulate ourselves, make sure that we're getting the point across that we care before we do anything else, that we relate to them, that we understand what every woman in this country is dealing with. Especially moms, we balance so many different things, or school. Think about what many of you are doing. You're trying to maintain that job, but you want to be moving up in your career. All these different things are playing in at the same time. Men do tend to talk about things on a much higher level. One of the things that has always been one of my frustrations, and I speak about this all the time, many of my male colleagues, when they go to the House floor, they've got, some pie chart or graph behind them, and they're talking about trillions of dollars and, how the debt is awful, and, and we all agree with that. But by starting off that discussion that way, we've already turned people away, because it's like, that doesn't affect my life. I don't understand how that affects my life. So one of the things that we have worked with our male colleagues, and I have seen a difference, I will tell you I've seen a difference, is to, again, engaging individuals on their level, talking about them on a personal level first, making sure that when we speak to individuals, we're coming from the perspective of we care about what's happening in your life. We know that these things, that the agenda of the Obama administration, the Obama economy, has been hurting you and your family consistently. Obamacare is hurting your family. And then starting to talk about the solutions. One of the things, and you heard this from all of my colleagues, women are wanting common sense solutions. Stop the no, 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 we're against, we're against, we're against. Tell us what you are for. That's what women want to hear. Tell us how we're going to fix it. The biggest need that women have is more time. We all want more time in our lives. More time in the morning to get ready. More time in the evening to spend time with our families. All of these things. More time to move up that career path. It's about time. And we have to make sure that women understand that. We understand that. We need our male colleagues to understand that if you can bring it down to a woman's level in everything that she is balancing in her life, that's the way to go. And many of our male colleagues are starting something that I think is very important. Utilizing, especially when we're talking about the war on women. They're saying, I have a wife, I have daughters, I have a mother, I have sisters. If there's a war on women, I'm losing it. Basically, because they're saying, these are the women that I go to, these are the women that I listen to, these are the folks that I need to talk to. These are the ones who direct my plan of action. And when our male colleagues talk about those things, those connections to women, they do a much, much better job, and women connect with them.
You also had discussions too about getting them to talk directly to women's issues, and in a sustained way, because one of my frustrations is that you go through these spurts, right? Like, so Congress did this wonderful debate and vote on this bill to provide more flexibility in labor laws, to give people more flex time, which was great, but it was sort of one and done. You know, we had it for
And
a
then
week, and then we don't
exactly.
care about it anymore.
And
Whereas the war on women,
boy, it's, anytime
every
we no, exactly, it has to be consistent. It can't just be sporadic when we're talking about certain pieces of legislation or if there's an issue that arises and then we focus in on that. It has to be on an everyday level. It has to be part of the discussion that our male colleagues have. It certainly is for us. You know, it's very easy for us to talk about the issues that are affecting women. You know, one of the other issues, obviously, you know, some of the social issues, you know, many times we know how the left, the media, will try to trap one of our male colleagues into a position talking about what their belief is, especially if they know they're pro-life, right? Basically, what we said to my friends, I say, you know what, state your position, where you are on this issue, when it comes to whether you're pro-life, pro-choice, wherever you are, and then you come out of that situation. Because one of the things that especially women, I think, are looking for right now is good leadership. And women may not necessarily agree with the position that you take, but they appreciate and respect the fact that you have shared that with them and that they understand now where you stand on the issue. And there again, it's about leadership, and unfortunately the lack of leadership here in Washington. If we can learn to be better leaders and actually start looking and making sure that America, especially for you young people, that there's a vision for prosperity, that there's a vision for the country where we will be in a better place, I think that's another winning message too.
Thank you. Alex.